In this video, I will show you the 7 wonders of central and northern Portugal. To choose the best 7 places to visit in Portugal was extremely difficult. It took me some time and struggle to complete my list. My choices are solely based on my preferences. Number 1 on my list is the monastery of Jeronimos in Lisbon. If you have only a couple days in Lisbon, do not hesitate to visit Jeronimos Monastery and the cathedral. This beautiful 16th century complex is amazing. Despite its age, Jeronimos looks friendly and inviting. I love to visit it in the second half of the day. In November at sunset, it reminds me of a wedding cake with the layers filled with whipped cream. By the way, there is a belief that the recipe of the famous dessert pastéis de nata was invented by Jeronimos monks 200 years ago. Number 2 is Quinta de Regaleira in Sintra. The house was built at the beginning of the 20th century by the wish of the Portuguese millionaire Antonio Monteiro. Nobody can say for sure if Mr. Monteiro belonged to the Masons, but his entire estate is full of Masonic symbols, gloomy ponds, and weird creatures. The famous initiation well attracts the most attention of the tourists. It has never been used as a water resource, but instead for unknown ceremonies. At the bottom of the well, you will discover an underworld of tunnels and grottos, all intended to disorient and confuse you. And so, if you're looking for secrets and mysteries, Quinta is your place to visit. Number 3 is Tomar Castello, the castle of the Knights Templar. This castle has a long history. In 1160, the warrior monks, Templars, began the construction of Tomar Castello and the convent. Later, this place became the headquarters of the Master of the Knights Templar. Tomar is a huge complex. The last additions to the convent were completed in the 18th century. Even today, you can see that in days of old, the Order of Templars was a very rich and powerful organization. The city of Porto is number 4 on my list. I fell in love with Porto many years ago. Yeah, Porto stole my heart. Porto keeps its old time charm. Luckily, it wasn't destroyed by the earthquake in 1755. Walking through the old part of the city reminds me of reading my favorite book. I know it by heart because I have read it so many times. Some pages may be missing, the cover may be dirty, but the story is exciting and it's fun to read it again and again. Do not leave Porto without tasting the local wine and a special dish, the francesinha. It is a toasted meat and cheese gravy sandwich served with fries. Very, very tasty. If you visit Porto once, you will be back. As locals say, follow your heart. It will lead you to Porto. Leiria Castello is number 5. Leiria Castello is a medieval castle which was built in the 12th century to defend the land against the Moors' conquest. 200 years later, in the 14th century, the royal family began to use it as their summer palace. The best room of this castle is the gallery, hovering high above the city. We had a long day today, but I couldn't miss this castle. This castle is one of my favorites. And we made it at 4 p.m., 4:30 actually, 4:30 p.m. we made it. And I like this place because of this gallery. What a masterpiece. A charming medieval town, Obidos, is number 6 on my list. I love Obidos. Obidos is the best preserved medieval town in Portugal. Between the 13th and 19th century, the Portuguese king had a tradition of giving this town to their queens as a part of the royal dowry. Royal protection of Obidos created wealth and prosperity for the town. At the end of November, Obidos is preparing to celebrate Christmas. It's the best time to enjoy the atmosphere of the town, shopping, exploring, and just having fun. Ourem Castle is number 7. This castle will give you an idea how small medieval fortress actually looked in the 12th century. Located on the top of the hill, surrounded by massive walls, the fortress has a great view. We also found the cistern in the underground chamber. This fortress has its own water supply. It was amazing to see such an old construction. This castle is not as popular as the other places I mentioned earlier, and it is a challenge to get there. The town streets are so narrow that our car could barely squeeze between the houses. But if you want to see something different, Ourem Castello is definitely worth your time. If you're planning to visit Portugal and if you're going to travel by car, the rooster's interrupting me. So anyway, so if you're planning to travel around Portugal by car, I would like to give you a piece of advice, if I may. Prepare your itinerary before the visit. Portugal is a very small country, yes, but there's so much to see. There's so many places to visit. So if you do not prepare your list of the places you want to see, you will be distracted easily and you will not see as much as you should. And the other thing, just keep in mind, don't try to see everything. Just choose several destinations and see them before kind of trying to see everything. This is my list of the 7 wonders of Portugal. All of them are fantastic places to visit. I would give all of them a number 1 rating if I could. That's it for today, my dear travelers. Stay with me as I'm going to show you more of Portugal the Beautiful. If you like this video, support my channel by liking it and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching today. Until next time.